Today we're talking about why the INFJ gets ghosted way more often than most. Being ghosted is always uncomfortable, and it is something that unfortunately has become the new normal. It's not something that people do all the time, but everybody's heard of it. Somebody you know has experienced it. But it seems like the INFJ has always experienced this even before this was in any kind of way accepted. And on top of that, it seems like people, if they experience something like this, then it's like this rare occasion and it's horrible and how could this ever happen? Most INFJs that I talk to say, oh, of course I've been ghosted so many times. And that's definitely what I can tell you about myself. So today we're going to talk about why this happens to the INFJ in particular, what's going on there, and what kind of lessons are we going to learn from that. Before we get started, I want to remind you this round of the INFJ Epic Live Bootcamp has launched and the first live call will be November 12th. So make sure to join until then, because we're not going to have any late admissions. All the information you will find in the links in the description. Reason number one, the INFJ gets ghosted more often than most is a bruised ego. And when I'm talking about a bruised ego, I'm not talking about the INFJ having had a bruised ego because of it. We are always used to some people having a weird reaction to us. And if it was something like, oh, you just don't like the INFJ anymore, or, you meet an INFJ and then it's like, this is something weird about that person, and so therefore I don't want to hang out with them, the INFJ, as the recipient of being ghosted, wouldn't really care. It is just something that we've experienced so often since childhood, it wouldn't even surprise us. It's like, okay, that person thinks I'm weird and therefore they're not hanging out with me. That's even something we wouldn't even call being ghosted. What we call being ghosted is when we actually have a connection with somebody. We see that there is a mutual understanding, we have something in common, and then out of nowhere, the other person vanishes. And that's when the INFJ really doesn't know what's going on. Because in their mind, they have tried everything in order to make the other person feel comfortable. They have made themselves small. They tried to make the other person shine. They wanted to make the other person feel seen and respected. And this is what happens. Well, let me tell you, most of the time, at some point, your true colors come out. And this is not something negative, it's just human behavior. And those true colors also include you being stronger than you might have shown off before. All those times when you're trying to make yourself small, all those times when you try to, let the other person shine, you have done something to alter who you really are. And in one moment of time, you're going to get to a place where you're just not able to play that role all the time. So the thing is, it's inevitable. At some point, your true colors are going to come out and people are going to recognize that you've been playing a role. So what's the solution here? Well, mainly stop trying to make yourself small in order to make other people comfortable. Because either you stop doing it altogether and people will, yes, see that they cannot hang out with you because that makes them uncomfortable, or they will ghost you once you show your true colors. So the thing is that that's a person that isn't comfortable being around you because you're okay with yourself, right? That's the whole story. And there's nothing you can do about it. It's not on you to make that other person understand that they should believe more in themselves. The best way we can do this is by believing in ourselves and being a good example and saying, this is who I am and this is how I am and I have my strengths and I'm not going to make them small in order to make you comfortable. Reason number two why the INFJ gets ghosted is because the INFJ forces other people to experience their own pain. The way we show up, we show them this is where to look. We go deep. We make them experience something uncomfortable. And this might not happen at first, right? The typical situation is you meet somebody, you make them comfortable, everything is fine. But the moment they get a glimpse of who you really are and they recognize that you saw their pain and that's why you pretended. Because in the end, think about it, that's really what happens. You see, oh, that person has some kind of insecurity, so I'm going to make myself small in order for them to, not feel like I'm a threat to them. The moment you show who you really are, they see, oh, they saw my pain, and therefore they have to confront that pain within you. That is so uncomfortable. That is so something they try to avoid at all costs. And I'm not just talking about like that person in particular. Like that's how people are. That's how we are. This is a subconscious thing that we try to stay away from pain. from that deep psychological pain. And if you see that in somebody else, and if you evoke that in somebody else, then people are going to find some kind of explanation why they shouldn't hang out with you, and they're going to ghost you if that's something they think is necessary. Again, what is the INFJ to do here? Well, to understand it's not on you to save them from that pain. That pain is something that only they can fix themselves. Like, even if you could, we could talk about it, but we can't. We don't have the possibility to. And so every single time you try to take that pain on, it's just going to cause problems. So yes, you see that pain, but that's all you can do. You may feel sorry for them. You may have sympathy for them. You might be a good cheerleader, but you should never do this at the price of your own well-being and how you like to show up. Reason number 3, why the INFJ gets ghosted more often than most is because you cannot pretend in front of the INFJ. Again, you can try at some point, and people actually do that. You'll see when you have these situations where you feel like, oh, there's a great connection, and then at some point that person ghosts you, it's because they thought you're everything that they were looking for. They thought that they could play that role of their lifetime in front of you, and therefore they would finally find some kind of recognition for who they want to be, for who they want others to see in them. But the truth is that they see that you saw who they truly are. And at that moment, they cannot pretend in front of you. And for most people, believe it or not, pretending is the only way through life. Because everything else would be too painful. It's too shameful. It's, connected to so many emotions that they don't want to feel. The INFJ sees that. And the moment they feel seen for all the things they don't want other people to see, guess what? They're going to ghost. Reason number 4, why the INFJ gets ghosted more than most people is because the INFJ just shows their true color. And they do this without hesitation. So it isn't something that happens, because you don't have another choice, but it happens because the INFJ has chosen, okay, that person is somebody that I really like. And therefore, I want them to like who I really am. And so you show your true colors. You show your vulnerability. You show everything there is to know about you. And that in itself makes people uncomfortable. It makes them uncomfortable because you're subconsciously asking them to do the same. And showing your true colors is incredibly difficult. Most people don't even know how to do that. And if they encounter somebody who does this naturally, they will back off. I'm talking to so many INFJs on a daily basis that these kind of situations don't really happen to me. Like, I know that for us, it's rather easy to, come clean and say, this is who I really am, and these are my true colors, and that's what I'm all about. But most people get uncomfortable through this. Showing your true colors is something that only a few people are able to do. The older we get, the more mature we get, it gets easier. And I wouldn't go around and say nobody's showing their true colors, because that's just not true. But the people who do ghost you are exactly the ones who cannot handle it. But trust me, the more you go through life and the more you show your true colors from the beginning, all the dynamics are going to change. You're going to meet different kinds of people. You're going to have connections with different kind of people, and not just INFJs, and people for whom this is no problem. Again, I'm not saying INFJs are the only ones who can show their true colors. I'm saying that we very often are attracted to people in a friendship way, in a romantic way, or just in a way of, oh, this person sparks my interest, when we see that that person has something hidden. And we do that because we feel uncomfortable living out our truth, because we have something hidden. And we connect with people who we feel like have something in common with us. So at some point, when you have a connection with that person and you say, oh, this is the person I can finally be myself around, that person will get scared. Because just because you are able to be seen, that doesn't mean that the other person is. Because remember, you were able to see that they had something hidden. They weren't able to see that in you. And that in itself shows you that they're not willing or able to confront that part within themselves. So dare to be yourself more often. Dare to do the things that other people might think, oh, you're totally weird. Because the thing is this, the people that we think about when we say, oh, I can't really be myself around, those are the people that are going to have a problem with you showing who you really are. But those aren't all the people. Those are just the people we are aware of right now because we're living in this kind of understanding of how the world works. The moment you say, I'd rather be disliked for who I am than to be loved for somebody I'm not, that's the moment when everything changes. So dare to be that version of yourself and don't paddle back. Don't wait for others to be okay with you so you can go back into, the pretending mode. No, you deserve to be as fiercely yourself as you possibly can. And the fifth and last reason why the INFJ gets ghosted more than most is because the INFJ wants too much real. That's what an INFJ is all about. We want truth. We want to look behind the curtain. We want to know what that person is really thinking. We want us to talk on such a level. That's why we always say the INFJ wants to go so deep. This is not something most people are comfortable with. And they're particularly not comfortable doing this with somebody they barely know. Because what you have to remember is that you have a unique ability to understand that person on a deep level very fast. But still, we have to remember there are parts that we won't be able to grasp, and there will be mistakes in our understanding of the other person, no matter how much we think we know that person so deeply. I know the more I believed I knew that person exactly who they were, that was the time when I was completely wrong. Because if that was the case, that person would have opened up. That person wouldn't have ghosted you. Now looking back, I recognize how many mistakes I was making, how naive I was thinking I understand that person so perfectly. But as an INFJ, once you're in that situation, it's so hard to distinguish between what is true and what is in our mind and what we want that person to be. So the more we actually go into vulnerability, the more we become real, and we pretty much force that upon the other person in order for them to open up, as in, look how much I'm giving you, look how vulnerable I'm making yourself. You're actually showing that person that you're not afraid, and that makes them even more afraid. They cannot give you the real that you're looking for. And it might feel like, oh, this is scary because that means I'm never going to have the connections that I want. No, that's not true. Live out your true colors. Live out your real. Live out all the vulnerability, all the things that matter to you. Live them out openly. Don't wait for this one person who might get it, and that's when you put everything onto them. If you live this way every single day, and you are this way with every single person, then as I said, the dynamics are going to change. Different people are going to get attracted to you. Other people will, back off from you. But it's your way of living your life that needs to be real. It's not about living this fake life that we think we have to and then looking for this one person that we can be real with. If you start living out your real you more and more, knowing that there's going to be a lot of pain involved in that transformation, then you're not going to be waiting for this one person to get you, because you are just living it all together. That's when you start living your INFJ epic life. That's when you start living out all of those dreams you had in your mind, because then you're not making them dependent on if that one person gets it or if that one person is going to get you out of your misery. You are creating the life that you want. And no matter where you're at right now in your journey, trust me, you can get there. Take it step by step and you'll see amazing results. Remember, if you want to take it to the next level and you want an INFJ community who's all there and they're all there for the same thing, as in creating their INFJ Epic Life, and they keep coming back, then join the INFJ Epic Life Bootcamp. This live round starts November 12th, so make sure you join until then. We're not going to have late admissions. I hope I see you all there. All the information you find in the links in the description. And if you want to watch another video now that is in alignment with today's topic, then watch the video Why the INFJ Breaks Egos Without Even Trying.